my friend. Just enjoy.
Thank you. Hey. Hello, everyone. This is Zafar Abundancewala, and this is Abundance Show on Global Abundance Organization, GAO TV. And today I am overwhelmed, I'm excited, and I am speechless rather too. And this is Matthieu Bonelli. The anyone who has watched the movie The Secret by Rhonda Byron, and that the if you attract your destiny, then the whole world conspires for its happening. So I am living the moment, honestly. I am tuned into abundance. I am tuning everyone into abundance. So this is Matthieu Bonelli on my podcast. Matthew, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Beautiful introduction. I love the talk on abundance and the link to the movie. Yes, Matthieu Bonelli, I am French. You're going to hear my French accent for the next 30, 60 minutes. I don't know. Really happy to be here, Zafar. It's a privilege, it's an honor because we had such a beautiful conversation together before. I just very briefly about myself. I am the founder of Conscious Leaders Dubai. It's a year and a half that I have created this company, and my goal is to elevate leaders so we can live and lead more consciously as opposed to living in autopilot, as opposed to feeling terrible about our life and that we have no control. It's about abundance, it's about mindset, it's about joy, and it's about fulfillment. And before that, I used to be a consultant. I was helping a lot of organizations. I was really successful in the metrics that we talk about as success equals money and the amount on a bank account and the number of clients I can have. And I found myself very, very depressed because I was having zero impact despite the success you can talk about. Yeah. So yeah, here I am. Happy to talk with you, Zafar, and ready for the conversation, and let's bring it on.
Thank you so much, Matthew, for a superb introduction. Would you like to just get us through the corridors of your life journey?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I studied IT, and I studied IT because people told me that IT, when we're talking about 15 years ago or even 20 years ago when I started, IT was going to be the big thing. They were right, but it wasn't for me. So I studied IT because people told me, Mathieu, you're smart. Mathieu, you should do that. Mathieu, you're going to make a lot of money with IT. And I went there and I hated it. So my career, after studying 5 years and getting a master's degree in IT, I escaped literally from France, went to the other side of the world to Australia, and I tried to discover who I was. I started a part-time job and then I joined an e-commerce company. And I was just trying to build myself and to understand who I am I when there's no one else to talk about me and no one else to say, you're good at math. This is the path you should take. This is who you are. No, just shut up. Let me figure it out. And that was my process. I was 20, 21 years old. And then it's been an entrepreneurial journey. I started some projects. From there, I went and I became a scuba diving instructor in the Canary Islands, so on the west coast of Africa. Then I went to Berlin to work with more e-commerce companies. I loved that. My job was customer experience management. So basically making customers happy. That was super cool. I enjoyed it. I learned so much. I was very lucky to be in one of the best organizations. Then I was hired by another company to do the same thing, but the environment was very different, and I ended up having a burnout at that time, to which I said, enough with the corporate world. I'm going to create my own consultancy. And everyone told me, Mathieu, you're not going to have a successful consultancy. You're too young, you're too inexperienced. No one was going to want to work with you. And I wanted to prove them they're wrong. So I went for it and I did it. And for 6 years, I was on top of a consulting career with my own consultancy, with my team. We were developing new products like a SaaS company as well, until I talked to one of my clients and realized I don't want to help them anymore. I don't want to do the customer experience management, because in order to help the customers, I need to help the employees. The employees need to be empowered by the leaders. And the bottleneck was the leaders. And the leaders were so burnt out, so stressed, so overwhelmed, making decisions that made no sense, like really struggling to get the business together. And that's when I said, I want to help the leaders. Because if I don't help the leaders, we cannot help the employees. And if we cannot help the employees, we cannot help the customers. So that was my idea of going to the root cause. And that's why I decided to go to Dubai, because Dubai is the place where there's influence, when there's power, and when there's great leadership. And if I can just help one leader, plant one seed in their mind, change one concept, one thought, so they can make a better decision that has a better impact on the world, then it's a win. And yeah, I'm very grateful for this. That's about my journey.
Wow, that's really amazing and energizing. Thank you, Matthew. Would you like to tell us how the Singularity University, the Abundance 360 platform, Peter Demendes and his
Mhm.
like Salim Ismail, Imad Mushtaq, Ray Kurzweil, and all these wonderful champion of the leadership. These are the people who are, and you're also the one who are creating the future of abundance, and they are abundant people. And
Yeah.
what's you, who are these guys? What's this plate? What are these platforms? How did you get connected to these, and what did you learn from this all? Would you like to open this entire universe to us?
Yes, absolutely. And I know you'll speak a lot about Singularity University, the moonshots, and so I won't do the full genesis of it and who they are, but the idea is to empower leaders who want to lead with impact, right? It's entrepreneurs who have ideas that are going to make the world a better place, bring convenience, solve big problems that we have, right? And make the world sustainable, um, some would say even save the world, right? So the idea is that if you are an entrepreneur who's working on impact projects, you're more than welcome in that sphere that and in that community that Singularity has created. And then you have two big pillars. The first one is technology, because technology is everywhere. And that's where this is excellent to hear people and experts from the Singularity alumni. They know so much about the technologies. They know so much about the latest news, and it's such a difficult environment. There's really a lot going on, right? So getting the right information, what is important for me, and how I can apply that for my business is one aspect. And the second one is the exponential mindsets. Why exponential mindsets? Because it's very easy for us to think in a linear way, right? I can ask you, Zafar, that how is it gonna look like the next iPhone? I don't even remember if that's iPhone 7, iPhone 18, whatever, but right? It's gonna have a better camera, it's gonna have maybe a better battery, a better processing unit, faster speed, and etc. Right? This is very easy for you to figure out, but it was really difficult to think about an iPhone. What an exponential mindset, what a genius way to think differently about problems, and to create a solution using existing technology. That's exponential mindset, right? And to your second question, why am I working with Singularities? Because for the first time, the executive program of Singularity University is coming to Dubai, to the UAE. It's going to happen in November this year. And I'm one of the privileged part of the team who is actually creating awareness, bringing people, and hopefully making the event a success.
Wow. This all gets me lots of energy when I
Yes.
when I get to know someone about Singularity University working with X Prize. And space is not about only these are not the words, these are the institutions who are creating the future of abundance. And I think the abundance is already there. We need to tune into it. And as you said about the exponential organizations, This reminds me of Salim Ismail's book Exponential Transformation, and
Hmm.
as he works on exponential transformation. I am just reading this book these days, and he and now I mean this is exactly what you are doing. You are
Well, yeah.
transforming linear mindset into exponential, just because the now the abundance is the only solution. And how can we tune into abundance is getting from linear to exponential. How how are you creating this future, man?
Well, this is one of the concepts with Conscious Leaders Dubai. I am not helping the leader so they can think, let's say you are the company that makes already $1 million and the product. The answer is how do you make 10% more every year or 15% more? Because those numbers, this is not, yes, it's sustainable and you have business that's sustainable, but this is not the idea of the mindset we want to reach. To think about how you go from 1 million to 10 million and from 10 million to 100 million requires a way of thinking which is very different. And it really requires to tap into existing technologies, tap into ideas, business models that might not even exist in your industry, that might exist somewhere, right? And you're bringing that to you because of the way it's working. That's also why Singularity is multi-industries, and you look at the at your biotech and you look at space exploration and we look at mobility, all of the different topics. They might seem that they are on their own space, but actually, if you are really understanding the thinking process behind all of this, then you can incorporate that to your business. And of course, collaborations from the moment you are here and this is me, Matthieu, one person, this is 100%, and you, Zafar, 100% as well. Are we two? We're not just one plus one, because we can really create the synergies by working together. We can amplify, we can duplicate, we can really raise and increase that impact we can have together, right? So this power of collaborations also from the university, from all of the ecosystem is one of the key things for their success.
Thank you so much. These are all word of the jewels of wisdom coming from your and for my audience. I'm so grateful, and I have I'm getting speechless also just because I'm overwhelmed. And thank you, Matthew. What's abundance to you?
Hmm. That's a very good and deep question. I will link abundance to the concept that I'm really familiar with and very, conscious leadership, right? Because you will see how they're both together. When you talk about abundance, you talk about attracting things. You talk about that belief that everything is available out there, right? And you also talk about the fact that in order to win, it does not require necessarily someone else to lose, right? So in the abundance part, you have also these concepts of non-competition, where everything is collaboration and where we can create a bit like what I was telling you before, right? 1 plus 1 equals 10 because we can create all of those synergies, right? So it is about this belief and it's about this mindset where I am in control. This is where like the conscious leadership comes into play. I'm in control. I'm aware. I am intentional about my thoughts, my emotions, who I am, how I want to live my life, and all of this makes me want to create and live and be part of a world where I am adding to it and where I'm taking the resources from a very regenerative way, right? I am not taking away for my own benefits, but I am taking from what's available in order to create, in order to bring back, and in order to add to the world. That's a bit the connection that I have with abundance and conscious leadership.
Great. You are a universe of conscious leadership. You are creating and you're tuning leaders into conscious leaders. What
Yeah.
is a leader? What is leadership? What is conscious leadership? And what the difference you are making in this
Yeah.
universe?
Oh, a lot of questions. I like that. Um, the leadership, I would like to um, really like split this with the traditional point of view we have on leadership from the corporate side, right? From the title, because having a leadership title does not make you a leader, right? We've seen a lot of people who are head of big organizations that have a lot of teams. That doesn't mean they're behaving as leaders, right? However, me today, I consider myself as a leader, even though at the moment I don't really have a team, right? Because leadership is also how you show up for yourself, is also all of that part of self leadership, how you guide yourself, how you drive yourself, how you impact others. And a leader can impact a lot of people without necessarily having authority, which you have in the traditional corporate world, right? So I am a leader in the same way as you are a leader, and this is part of our responsibility to show up and to embody what the real leaders should be showing, which is this awareness, this clarity, this intention, a direction, a clear direction we want to go for, and just to be showing all of this when we talk to people, when we are with friends, when we are with colleagues, when we are with people at events or in a podcast, right? So that's the leadership part. Now, the conscious leadership part, I will take this as an opposition to the unconscious, which means you're living on autopilot. You're living every day and you are enslaved by your thoughts, by your emotions. You're doing the same thing every day, wake up at the same time. You do the exact same steps, which is make myself a coffee. You're almost like in a zombie mode, your brain is still off and you just go through the motions. You drive to work, you have the same conversation with your colleague, you do the same job, you eat the same thing at lunch, you go home again, you have the same, you're exhausted, you crash on the couch, you scroll on social media, whatever, and then you go to bed and you restart this. This is unconscious, right? You have no control of your thoughts, you have no control of your emotions, and you don't have all of that creative energy that is actually pushing you forward. So this is what conscious leadership is. It's taking control of your life, taking control of your behaviors, of your environment, understanding your mental state, your physical state, how everything goes together. And then once you know yourself and you say, this is who I am, this is who I want to be in 5 years. And now, because I know all of those parameters, because it's very clear, because I'm very aware of them and also intentional, I know how to get there step by step, right? And it's not about taking shortcuts, it's about doing the steps on the journey, having clarity on the direction, changing routes when there are challenges, and just trying to live the best life, the most fulfilled, which is also a very present and very grounded life. How does that sound?
Wow, that's the reality I am living every day. That I'm into a routine, getting up and having breakfast and going to office, and then coming back, and the routines and the pattern. We are living a certain pattern, and
Hmm.
another one, yeah. And how about how do you change, and how are you creating the changing the pattern of the leadership, just because there is lots of immunity, and
Hmm.
people generally resist, and they are in the state of inertia, like they
Hmm.
don't want. I'm also the one, the toughest of the thing that I am feeling in my life is myself. Yeah, I've got my own
Hmm.
inner mountain, and I'm unable to climb it, and I think only that I'll change the pattern. I'm not changing the pattern, since patterns are not being changed. There is the
Yeah.
results are similar. So and I'm unable to feel the real abundance. Although
Yeah.
I'm saying this vigorously, rigorously every day, and talking to people who are abundant, I'm trying to create the environment. That's why I'm talking to you. I mean, I got that
Yep.
close to Singularity University, that close to
Hmm.
X Prize, that close to Abundance 360, and the people they are there. I'm attracting those, but still I'm thirsty. Appetite is all there. I'm unable to transform myself into someone who's exponential. I'm still additive, like arithmetic, additive, and linear.
Well,
Yes.
you're
So,
able because you're doing it. It's a step-by-step process. And like look at an exponential curve, right? You know so well about singularity, an exponential curve. At first, it looks like nothing is happening. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Those first years, if you would consider that as years, it seems like nothing is happening, that you're doing a lot of work in vain and not much is clicking. But after, right, 64, 128, 256, and etc., this is where the exponential, you have this inflection point, right, that gets you there. You have to be convinced that you are on the path, and you cannot say, I'm not on the path and I'm not doing. You are doing, right? And this is there's a few things that I really want to share with you is the first one is it's not about one day to another being fully a completely different person, right? It's not like from one day I have never been to the gym and the next day I'm going 5 times a week to the gym for 1 hour every day because that's my new identity. No, it's a path, it's a journey of figuring it out. It's a journey where you start with doing 15 push-ups per day and then 20 push-ups per day. And then suddenly you want to do something else. And then it's about finding that pace. It's about the 1% improvement that you can do every day because you know that the compound interest of this 1% every day is what gets you to get, all of the big objectives to fall later because of how they compound to make this exponential curve, right? So that's one of the concepts. Does that resonate with you, Zafar?
wow, man, you're the real leader. You're the coach. You motivate tremendously. It's like the 6 Ds of Peter Diamandis, and this was the second D that you were talking about. This is earlier is the one get digitized. Digitization is there. First D, the second D is deceptive mode, deceptive period, and this was, I mean, as you said, said their progress is already there, but this
Hmm.
does not seem apparently, just because it's like bamboo in the ground for maybe 4 years. There's nothing happening. Then maybe 4 years, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Then this, or just some very small, it's pop up
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the ground, and then in days it goes to maximum or size, maybe 20 days, maybe. And with one,
Hmm.
it's become the whole bamboo. So I understand that's like exponential curve, as you
And
said.
then it grows really fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, and now, I mean, I'll request you to please explain and present your forum. You are
Hmm.
impacting the global
Yeah.
leaders. You are making a leader. You're transforming leadership into conscious leadership.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how, but I mean, how have you been doing this, and how about, I
Hmm.
mean, to our audience, if someone who wants to be an exponential leader, how should he connect you, or like
Hmm.
what's the role this my platform can play, and how people
Yeah.
uh, like those who everybody wants to be exponential. This is my belief. I won't find
Hmm.
any sane person, any sane mind who would refuse to what you're doing. You're doing something
Yeah.
very incredible. But
Thank you.
was this, and how should people connect you?
Yeah. So I like to do a lot of things. I am, this is who I am. I cannot do the same thing every day. I love to do this podcast with you and I have my own podcast, but I will not be just a podcast host, just doing this every day. I am someone who needs to have a lot of different hobbies, a lot of different ways to connect. So you can find me there sometimes speaking at conferences, smaller groups of people also. I really love the intimacy and the conversation of those groups. So I also organize dinners that are usually in Dubai, of course, right? I love to have online sessions as well, where we can bring some, like one topic per month, and we can really bring different people and different subjects and different conversations. And of course, I do one-on-one coachings, right? Because I think this is where, it's a spectrum. You can help 100 people in a room, but you will help them very little because, of course, it's not personalized. Or you can have one person at the other extreme of the spectrum, and then you can go with the same time, you can go so deep, so personalized that you can actually probably change the life of this person much bigger than you can do for a full audience, right? So yeah, I have a variety of products and services, but one thing which is important for me is you will see me publish some content. I of course I talk a lot and share my ideas because it's important that people know who I am. If I'm in my cave and no one knows me, then I have no impact, right? But what I preach the most is this part of integration. And it's Tony Robbins, I think, who said that. Um, Watching videos and all of this knowledge without the integration part, that's basically just entertainment. And I hate to see it really like frustrates me to the highest point that you and I are gonna watch a video on YouTube, a beautiful video, the moonshot video, for example, right? The moonshot by Peter Diamandis. And then we could stop and just watch the next video, right? The video is over, you move to the next video, and then the next video is over, and to the next one, and to the next one. And for 1 hour, 2 hours, we're consuming content, and we believe that got us much smarter, but it doesn't because we haven't done anything. The answer is absorbing the concepts one by one and then integrating with this. So that's a bit what I do. And I know you had this viewing with Peter Diamandis specifically about the moonshots. And now this is about the questioning about what is your moonshot? Let's not watch the next video. We'll watch the next video in one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Who cares, right? But now, what is your moonshot? Okay, that's this. Great. How does it make you feel? Great. Now we have this. It also makes you feel, it creates this inner fire. How are you going to do it? What is the best way to do that? A minimal viable product. You see where I'm getting now, right? I'm asking you the questions so you can start living that idea of the moonshots. And imagine your life is a bit like a puzzle piece. It's a full puzzle. You just don't fully know what it looks like. And your goal is to figure out how to improve yourself, but it's so complex. So you take one puzzle piece and you figure out what it is, and you stay with the one puzzle piece on what it is. And that's an example of how I do in my online sessions. In January, we talked about the non-negotiables as opposed to your goals. The non-negotiables are what makes you cannot fall under those non-negotiables, right? This is the plateau of who you are, your identity, and how you behave in the world, right? We worked on this for an entire month. At the end of the month, when everyone had integrated them, we looked at values. What are your values? And you can see now how we can build the person. The next one is going to be about energy, then it's going to be one about balance. It's about taking those topics one by one without the need of like doing everything at once, because then you do nothing at once, right? And you're not consuming content, you're integrating as you go. You stop, you take your journal and you start writing, you start thinking about it, you go with your AI tool and you ask, how can I integrate what I have just learned? This is how I am in my life. How do I do? Or of course, you get a coach who can, of course, help you further in your development, right? Does that make sense to you?
Wow, surely this does. You are introducing a person like myself to an entire new world of abundance. And thank you so much for getting the whole track and the roadmap of how it does. Okay, Matthew, anything that you want to ask me, or like you want to
Hmm.
advise and guide me and coach me? I mean, I know I'm, from putting the whole flow to you, and I mean,
Yeah,
you know, it's like the way all around. I mean, you can ask anything you like to.
good. And you see, I can feel it. This is where I'm actually getting more energy because this is the fun part for me, right? Um, you and I, last week when we met, we talked about ikigai, and you've told me, Mathieu, I am struggling with my ikigai. All right.
Yeah.
We've done a bit of an exercise, and well, you've told me through that exercise that you had found your ikigai. I wanted to
Mhm.
ask you, how do you feel today about that ikigai? And maybe you can also tell the people a bit more about this ikigai. And I'll come to share a bit more on the process and how we did that work, because it's very important. Your ikigai is now a bit of your direction, it's a bit about your purpose. And then the next question is, how do I get there? I am here, I want to go there. How do I actually go with the constraints and my limiting beliefs? So we can start by the ikigai, and then we can see how we can build you up and create a path for you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. This is the toughest thing in my life to find my ikigai. But there are certain things which are quite obvious in my life. And
Hmm.
since I'm already 48 now, and I started studying my pattern of my life for the last 14 months, as I was introduced to Peter Diamandis and Abundance 360 and all that. Then I started following the work. So when I look back, I am a person who enjoy discussions, talking to
Hmm.
new people.
Hmm.
I am very easy at getting to start a new discussion with any stranger, male,
Hmm.
female, or of any sex. I mean, this regardless of any sex, creed, color, or background, or age, or whatever. You ask me to talk, to span any. So I really enjoy this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was the point of starting this podcasting. And right now, in like 1 year, I surpassed 310 videos with altogether new people. And these were people like yourself. I mean, to me, you are a people of such a high stature. You're a change maker. And I've been talking to the people who are creating the future, and they talk a day, and next day it happens. I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
look. I mean, you are all. I mean, since I am new in your life, and you are new in my life, so it's been like so around a week or maybe a couple of weeks we are knowing each other.
Hmm.
I have been knowing the Abundance 360 or X Prize, the Singularity and University people, or these management like Peter Diamandis or Imad Mustafa, Muslim Ismail, Ray Kurzweil, and all these wonderful people. They're creating the future. So I started the journey, although I know nothing. Don't know any alpha about podcasting.
Hmm.
But I started this, and I have done it like 300 plus, and I've learned amazing things. I am out of stress, although I cannot present you the billions of dollars in my account. Look at this is abundance of wealth I have. No, but the heart I have, the mind I have right now, the energies I have.
Hmm.
And earlier I used was it's a huge long story. I mean, but coming to the ikigai, to me, to this point of my life, I think to me ikigai is this podcasting, this
Hmm.
connection, this making, like networking. And I find myself an insane networker. Look, I'm after you like a as if you're a beautiful girl and I'm a boy and I want to marry you. It's like I'm dying that way. I mean, even the same is happening with Peter Diamandis. I mean, he's not in my orbit right at the moment, but he'll be
Soon, don't
one day,
worry.
just because
Yeah.
I am orbiting in his orbit.
Hmm.
So someday, so because I'm meeting his people like yourself, like I mean John D. Anderson and a lot of other people, and I'm into the Silicon Valley just because of this abundance love. And yes, my ikigai so far, I think, is connection, is networking, is podcasting, is
Yeah.
communication, is like maybe I can. I think I'll be better be used to my someone if I find a mentor like yourself, if you can mentor me, so I could be someone who can sell exponentially. Maybe, I mean, I didn't try ever, but I
Hmm.
mean, since I think so, just because. But again, I mean, at the same time, as you said, there is immunity. I mean, since I'm reading a book from Exponential Transformation, there is immunity. As you, as a coach, as a mentor, you are mentoring conscious leaders. So the toughest thing, as you were explaining earlier, there is that the routine, there's the thinking, the mindset we have, the pattern we already have, that you change the pattern, in fact. So the same thing, I am also struggling with changing my pattern. And even more, if beyond changing pattern, the feel, it's really
Hmm.
important to feel happy about abundance, and feel it on myself. And I mean, all I mean, earlier I was all doubtful about this.
Hmm.
Earlier I was only negative about it. I mean, since I'm still into the scarcity mindset, I'm struggling with this, and I'm trying to tune into abundance. So my ikigai, so for that, I, since I'm not a professional, but I think it's podcasting, I think it's networking, I think this
Hmm.
is beautiful conversation,
Hmm.
and the positive one, and the with the mindset to creating the future. I am also creating my future, just because I am following people like Matthieu Bonelli, yourself. I'm like Peter De Mendes and people, Ray Kurzweil, or like other people, the people in his community, and I'm really I'm focused on this, and I wish I be somehow closer to you, and I think we'll be podcasting more, we'll be
Hmm.
talking more on your platform, and I dream of working together with a person like yourself, who has brought Singularity University to Dubai. That's
Hmm.
amazing thing. That then you're half an hour closer where I am. This is like maybe 90 minutes, or like maybe 1 hour flight where I'm sitting.
Hmm.
So I am that close. I got that close. So my gig, I think, is podcasting, and if
Hmm.
or networking, or any name you can. I mean, this is
Well,
how
yeah.
the kind of vehicle.
Mhm.
So far, I'm close to this point.
Well, the ikigai that you have mentioned, when you say podcasting, podcasting is a tool. So it could be podcasting, it could be writing. It's just a medium, right? So what it is exactly is just a way to do it. But your strengths, which we have discovered last time, is because you're a student and you're a sponge, and you're the one who's going out there and gathering information and kind of like compiling this information, and then you're making it accessible to the people around you, to your audience, right? Which today is the people that are watching to this podcast right now. Yeah, that is your ikigai. This is like taking a lot of information about self-development and bringing it to people that might not have access, and making it maybe also simpler, making it more accessible. Part of my ikigai is to make it so it transforms people's lives, right? Which can also be part of your ikigai. What I love with all of this conversation we're having here is you didn't wait to know your ikigai to start doing the podcast. And I see a lot of people that are stopping, that are not starting because they don't have everything figured out. I don't have my purpose. I don't have something that drives me. So I'm not going to do anything. And I love that for an entire year, you started doing all of those podcasts and following this joy and following what actually drives you and what makes you happy. And now you're coming to a place where you're like, oh, actually I start to formulate an ikigai, something that is going to drive me a little bit more, create a bit of an inner fire, right? So it's a beautiful journey. And for those listening who might be saying, well, I don't have an ikigai, who cares? Who cares? As long as you have something you are happy to do, you love doing more, you want to learn more, you are curious about, then just start exploring, start doing it. And you will figure out very soon this is part of your ikigai, this is part of your purpose, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah. Frankly, I mean, each word you said is like, I mean, you spoke my heart out, honestly. I really don't care who thinks what. But I mean, what I'm into the orbit of people like yourself. And I believe I'll be one day. So, and the next, I mean, I am here.
Yeah,
I want to be your mentee. Would you be
yeah,
my mentor?
yeah. Let's do it now. So, okay, we of course we would talk a lot about where you are, who you are, right? We get this point A of the journey. This is you today, okay? Where you will tell me about some of the limiting beliefs, some of the challenges you have, some of the constraints you have. And now we have an idea of an ikigai. We have a direction to go forward to, right? My first next thing is what is going to be the next step for you? Do you have a clarity on what is the next step?
That's where I mean as you said, the limiting. I've got 4 boys to care of, and a
Hmm.
family here. As I'm struggling with family, and I have got very limited amount of what amount I have, and I'm working with an organization, which
Hmm.
is absolutely against my mindset maybe, but I am unable to get rid of this organization just because
Hmm.
of my limiting belief. One, this is very conflicting statement that coming from my side, but again, that's my limit. I have been trying lots of stuff. I sold my house to enter into some business.
Hmm.
I got received, the whole money got wasted. Then
Hmm.
I've been working a lot to get into my own life. What I want to do exactly, if you ask me, I want to podcast, and I want to podcast for the huge big reason, and I
Yeah.
want to collaborate, coordinate
Hmm.
with the people who are creating the future of abundance. As you said, it's not about win or the lose. There are certain things in that which is win-win for everybody, because this
Yeah.
is, and if we and I also believe in winning and the win-win situation, and I want to work in an organization where everybody wins. And it's like, I mean, taking the whole of the paradigm to a C,
Hmm.
where there's no competition but collaboration, cooperation, and abundance of mindset is there. But I failed miserably in living in the country I'm here, and the opportunities that I can't say it has all gone wasted, because I've been learning, but I could not make any headway, or towards my dreaming, towards
Okay.
achievement of my dream. Yeah. So the my limiting belief, or my everything I've been talking so far with you, the negativity or the conflicting is my job I am stuck into. And that's just because of my belief that
Hmm.
again, maybe the low self-esteem, as if I'm not good enough, or the low self-love, or maybe, and and maybe the toxic relationship I've been in for the 20 years I'm not in anymore. And the things I was stuck up so much. But whatever I'm doing for these last 14-13 months, I have been doing it throughout my life. As a child, because my father was my best friend, I used to talk to him a lot. After he died, his friends were my best friends, and then the people of elderly ages, I've been talking to them. And I believe I'm all against wars. I'm for abundance. I won't hold these imaginary lines,
Hmm.
the borders that we are killing for each other for borders, in the name of borders, and some piece of law. This should not be anymore there. So this is right my nature, that I keep. This is my limiting belief, as you said, or my conflict, or my, this is my inner mountain that I am unable to climb it so far, uh, just because and in fact, in the heart of this whole situation is the amount of money that I am making from this
Hmm.
organization is also very low. And I want I mean, I am unable to kick myself from one orbit of lower energy to the higher energy orbit level, despite the fact of whatever I've been doing. So, and I'm endeavoring so much. Maybe this is the second D of Peter Diamandis after digitization. This is the deceptive phase, maybe.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so that's where I need the real help. I need
Yeah.
your mentorship. Maybe
Okay.
if I get this phase out of my life, then I'll be, part
Well,
of the sonic boom.
listening to you, I was taking some notes. If you saw that, there's a lot of elements that I have to come back to you, and I can tell you already from everything that I'm gonna tell to you, you have already months of work ahead, and we don't need to have coaching sessions, Safar, because now the next work is gonna be to listen to this podcast again, one time, two times, three times, and to go deeper into every of the topics, so you can make that your new reality. And just with what I'm going to tell you now, 4 or 5 things, you're going to be able to really start transforming. The first thing, and I'm going to go one by one and I'll come back to you after, right? The first thing, you're telling me my situation with the money I make is it's too little, it's the wrong situation, it's against who I am, and etc. But let's also look at it from a different perspective. This situation is allowing you to sustain an entire family with 4 kids. It's a lot of people. And what you do not want to do is to be deciding now I'm an entrepreneur, I'm gonna stop that job, I have no savings and etc. But I'm gonna do it because that's the way to make it, right? But let's also be grateful that this opportunity that you have is allowing you to actually provide for your family, which is probably the most important thing to you, right? If I would ask you, what is the most important? Family, money, success, meeting Peter Diamandis? What would be the ranking for you?
We have for sure family first. For sure,
Okay,
family first. Yeah, yeah.
okay, so fantastic. You are being a really great father. And pat yourself for that one already. Change that perspective. That job today is allowing you to sustain your family. So they have a house, they have a roof, they have food. How many families don't have even that privilege? It's fantastic, right? So already, instead of looking at this situation from a place of lack, because that situation doesn't make you a millionaire, then this is not enough. This is fantastic. This is my base. This is something comfortable, and this is something I want to keep. Okay, great. Now we have this. And then with the rest of the time, I now know my ikigai. I know that I want to focus on doing more podcasts, on talking to more people, on sharing more to the people, on connecting and maybe meeting the people that are part of my audience to ask them also what they have learned of building new products. And you can do this while having a full-time job. Actually, this is something I do. I guide some people who want to get out of the corporate world to start their own projects. And I always tell them, do not quit your job. Do not trade all of the comfort and safety of regular income for a dream. Make them happen together. You can, and I promise you, you can start making 20% of your income from your side projects, which is the podcast, and which is later you'll have sponsors. Like, figure out the business model, right? You can do 20% easily without changing anything at your work. And then when you start doing 20%, the next step is, can you do the double of this? Because now if you can prove yourself you can do the double, that means you can probably quit your job and now be full time on this to make more money that you could do and find more fulfillment. But so far, that's your goal, is how can I keep my job and still deliver and still be a good worker and still be a good employee and keep that time and that comfort for my family and build that thing on the side. That is the first step. It's a reframing already of perspective of your situation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. This does. I mean, it's like the weight of a mountain on me that I feel so relieved of it. Thank you so much. This does make a lot of
So
sense. And
there's a connected point with that. I don't know if you've ever read a book called The Four Agreements. It's by Don Miguel Luis. It's a very easy read, but it's also a very powerful one. One of the four agreements is be impeccable with your words. Okay, you want to be impeccable with your words because the way you think and the way you communicate is directly impacting others and is directly impacting you. I've heard you in the 5 minutes you were talking say, I fail miserably. I am unable to do. I'm not good enough. All of those are words that are confirming your inability to do something. What is happening is by thinking them, you're creating, you're secreting hormones in your body that are validating your new chemistry of you not being able to. Okay? You need to rechange those words, you need to change that vocabulary, and you need to forbid yourself from thinking this way, from saying those words, and from even believing in this. It is just training. When you start saying, instead of saying I can't, and you said at some point there is this like big mountain I cannot climb, just rephrase that. It's not like about I hate those when you go in the mirror and you have how is it called? And you speak in front of the mirror and you try to boost yourself saying things that are not actually true just to pump yourself up. I don't think this works, but that's one thing. You just need to rephrase I am on the way of climbing this mountain. I am walking the path one step at a time. I am on this journey and I will get to the mountain one day. No one is asking you to be on top of that mountain tomorrow morning. Maybe it's next week, next month, maybe it's in a decade. Who cares, right? It's about putting the steps one by one. So at some point you can be on top of the mountain. And it's also about enjoying that path. We say this is all about the journey and not the destination. If you can enjoy the journey, then there's no work. You're not even working. It's not even hard. It's just about recognizing your limiting beliefs. It's about recognizing those patterns. It's about having the awareness of saying, oh, I heard myself saying the word, I'm not good enough. Stop. That is not true. Let's rephrase that. You stop yourself, right? You have this trigger, stop yourself. And now it's like, I am on the path to becoming this person. I am on the path to be a good football player, whatever the things you're trying to work towards, right? I'm on the path to being abundant. I'm on the path to making this podcast a success. I'm on the path to impacting more people in my country, in the world, and etc. Okay, that being impeccable with your world is one of the key to stop creating all of that negativity in your body, in your mind, and to start changing. Instead of a vicious cycle, it becomes a virtuous cycle where you're now creating something positive that feeds itself. Yeah.
Wow, that's tons of energy. That's amount I really long for a long time. Yeah,
And you
it
talk about
makes.
energy. It's one point I have written in my notes when you were talking, right? The energy is the base of you, right? If you wake up and you have slept 5 hours and you wake up tired, already your energy on your maximum energy available, you are like what, 70%. Okay. And now you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to this job I hate. My goodness, it's gonna be awful. I hate my boss, I hate my colleagues, I hate my task, I hate everything. Now you're putting yourself down, you're at like what, 30, 40%, and then you go in traffic. Oh my God, these people in traffic, this is the worst. I hate traffic. This guy is an idiot, he cut me off. 20%. And then you basically arrive at the office at 9 a.m., you have 20% of the energy left. Of course, you leave at 5 p.m. being completely exhausted, right? So again, controlling, understanding your energy, but also having the perspective towards your energy. If you go to bed earlier, then when you wake up, you have 2 hours more of sleep. So you already have more energy than in the previous example that I just gave, right? You wake up more energy. And now you think about for a few minutes about what are the things that you look forward to. Maybe it's a colleague you love talking to because you have a common interest. Maybe there's one of the tasks that actually gets you excited. Maybe there is the idea of also providing for your family. Wow, this is fantastic. By working today, I can give food to my family. When you're in traffic, you can just say, I don't control what's going on right here. Let's just enjoy the music. Let's just, be mindful and whatever. This guy is cutting off. What's his problem? It's not going to affect me. So that means instead of arriving at 9 a.m. at the office with 20%, like the example before, you arrive with 70%, which now gives you at the end of the day, because it doesn't go down as much, it leaves you with 30 or 40%. You're not fully drained. And now you have a beautiful conversation with your partner. You can spend a bit of time with the kids without being like a zombie on the couch scrolling on Instagram or whatever you do. And now you have that energy to actually create something. And this is going to feed you energy. It's going to make you sleep better. And then it's going to make you wake up the next day better. And you see how this is a virtuous cycle again. It's going to get you more creative. Your podcasts are going to have more energy. The people you're going to talk to in the street or whatever, you're going to be able to help them. You're going to be able to listen to them or whatever. You see how it is just really your perspective and the small things that you do that are going to impact your energy, and they can already impact your life entirely.
Agreed, 110%, 10 out of 10.
So
It
now
does
the
so.
work, so now the work is not on having me as a coach. Because what else can I tell you? If I tell you 10 more things, which I could, I'm going to overwhelm you. You're going to start feeling down. You're going to look at the mountain of stuff you can acquire, and you're going to be, oh my God, like I'm never gonna be out of this. No, now we take one topic, and I invite you. I will actually invite you to my next workshop on energy. You're going to be one of the participants. We're going to work on energy for 2 hours. You're going to understand all of the mechanics of energy management. And then we're going to have a week of integration, because I want you to boost your awareness on how your energy fluctuates every day and during the day. You're going to understand that there's not just one energy, there is physical, mental, emotional energy, and spiritual energy, your alignment energy. And all of those four energies, you're going to understand what drains them, what boosts them. And from this, you're going to start really, now I know my energy. Oh, this today is lower because I had all of this, because I didn't sleep well, because I had a bit of an annoying conversation. And you're also going to have a list of things that you can do to boost your energy, right? So from this already, let's work on energy. And that's one of the base things you can do. That's it. Does that make sense? All of the things I'm saying? Any follow-up questions, maybe?
Wow, it has already got me lots of energy that you're calling me on your workshop. To me, it's a big dream come true already. And sure, yes, I was just visualizing while you were talking about even stuck up in traffic, like with getting up with low energy or thinking negative about certain things, and but the enjoying the moment. Let's cut off this whole. It's none of my problem. Like enjoying the music, and this is really amazing. And maybe probably this is what is missing in my life, that I have never been coached that way, maybe. And I
Mhm.
did not take my perspective. I did not shifted my perspective from scarcity to abundance mindset, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You do, and now it is about the applications of this abundance mindset, right? Now it is about really like, again, life is so complex. There's so many things. I can list 50 things that I want to improve about myself. Okay, but that is overwhelming. Last year, I focused for months on specifically energy. I wanted to understand that. And when I did understand the energy part, people told me, Matthieu, you seem to have limitless energy. You seem to be doing so many things. How do you do? And I was like, wow, actually, I just understand it better. And the awareness is, you will see, like in all of the conversations, because you and I are gonna have many conversations now. In all of the conversations, it's always about awareness. And it's always about that awareness that comes without the judgment. Rephrasing these words, being impeccable with your words, it's about putting yourself as the observer. I observed this behavior that I had this morning, which I ate too much chocolates, for example, this morning. And you could just, like, hey, we said no more chocolate, and now this is like a judgmental point of view. Or you could be saying, like, oh, also I'm human. It's fine. So you see, you can judge yourself, or you can have empathy for yourself, also being a human being who's trying to thrive and survive in a very complex world, right? So when you give yourself the permission and you say, okay, therefore, there was a lot of chocolate. Let's try a bit less chocolate tomorrow, instead of being like, oh, you piece of, something, you're worthless and you're not good enough and you never make it just because you had a piece of chocolate. It's fine, right?
Got you right away. I mean, that's again, this is abundance mindset. I mean, the mind. Earlier, I have been following the scarcity mindset, and then this is. I mean, you are taking me, transforming me from scarcity to abundance mindset. Sure, yes, it is.
Yeah. And because I know you have also the prayer behind you, just want to say there are ways also for everyone to acknowledge that, like, step by step we are going towards that journey, and you just pick a topic that interests you at the moment. And for me, that, like, one of the basic one is energy, but maybe for some other people it's, I don't know, it's about the balance, it's about not going into the extremes of things, right? Part of conscious leadership is this consciousness pendulum, or basically when you do something too extreme, it always gets bad, it always becomes too much, right? It's like when you say you don't drink water, you'll die, but you drink too much water, you'll die as well, by the way, in case you didn't know. So too little of something is bad, and often too much of something is bad as well, right? Chocolate, as an example, chocolate is good for you, right? It's too much chocolate that it becomes bad for you, right? So it's always trying to find that balance. It's always trying to find, being too harsh on yourself or not being harsh enough, having too unrealistic goals versus having no goals, right? Being too empathetic versus having zero empathy. None of them are good. If I have too much empathy, I am crying all the time for all of the misery that I can see in this world. And then I cannot do anything. But if I also have zero empathy, then I have no emotions. And we need emotions because this is how we connect as human beings, right? So maybe some people will say, well, balance is one of the topics that they want to discover, which, by the way, is going to be the one for the month of June in that monthly session that you're going to be part of. So, energy one month, balance another month, and we'll see later what we do together.
That's amazing path in the roadmap you are really creating for me and my audience and the people who are stuck up in scarcity. I take it as a religious obligation. Like I'm also member of a group in Silicon Valley. We like 350 people in Silicon Valley, and we not all, but like quite a number. We meet each other online every
Hmm.
fortnight, and we are people in that part of the world are of the belief that it is a shame not to tell what you know to the generation next, not to tell or not to educate the people around us. So that's what makes my moonshot.
Hmm.
Again, this
Hmm.
podcasting and taking the people, like, I mean, I know you, I can have this Zoom session with you as I have had with you, and I'm so grateful. But having you on the podcast mean that what I know or what you told me, this all other people also know that for the impact also. This is not only better for the listeners, but to you also, because then you become, I am of the belief that the why creator created us. Even if the creator would not have created us or this all, I mean, it was a creator already, and he was happy and everything is, I mean, creating us does not make his creation even something exponential, or not creating us would give him, no, it this was just because he wanted to show his creativity. So it
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
to me, it is the presentation of the creator's creativity that we are here. And the same goes for us also. Like Peter de Mendes, Ray Kurzweil, Slim Ismail, Imad Mustafa, and other people, if they do not go for podcasting, if Tony Robbins were not all out there, would he be Tony Robbins of that $7 billion of the worth today he is, or maybe beyond that now? So it's
Mhm.
like, I mean, so what you are doing is absolutely amazing, and I love all those who are spreading the knowledge on almost zero cost. I mean, what you are doing is all like, I mean, the 6 Ds of dependence is like, first one is digitization, second is deceptive phase, as you very beautifully elaborated that deceptive phase, like showcasing my story that this is not visible, this is 1 2 4 8 16 64 132 528. I mean, that then this goes exponential.
Mhm.
And then it was demonetizing, dematerializing, democratizing, and maybe I got one. So this is amazing journey. I'm all with you, but again, uh, how about the other people who are listening to us? How can they be on the in your leadership? How can they be the part of the caravan you are heading?
So I have an idea. I have an idea which is a challenge as well for you. It's an opportunity, it's a gift, but it also comes with something that you need to provide. Because I think your question is really good. How can I help the people of your audience, basically you're saying. And I don't think this is my role to help the people of your audience. So here's what I'm proposing to you. I'm going to invite you to my online program, right? Free of charge. Just I'm bringing you in there. I cannot do that for every one of your audience, obviously, right? So you understand that. Which now your job is, and this is the same job as I'm doing, and this is the same job of the people later. You are a student and I will teach about energy. And now your job is going to be to actually create a session for your audience to now share what you have learned for your audience. Okay? Because why I'm saying that, the best way to integrate things, to actually fully know things, is by sharing it, is by teaching it, right? The lowest, there's a pyramid, I don't remember exactly, it has some percentages, but the lowest of an understanding of a concept is by listening, right? Because listening is just very superficial. But the highest level is maybe like 20% listening. Talking about it is maybe another 20% on top, so 40%. But the highest level, being able to teach, means you fully understand the topic, and that is your way to integrate that topic. Okay? And so the deal is this one. And if you're willing to do it, I am happy to invite you. You're coming on my monthly sessions, right? We are talking about the topic of energy. You have an entire month to understand, to integrate the topic of energy. And the month after, your job, your mission is to create video, create content, create something for you to share with your audience. In that way, this is my principle of this waterfall effect of conscious leadership. Me on top here, helping one person, which is you, already makes you help 100 people today, 1,000 tomorrow, etc. So this is how one person can help one for 1,000, and this is really this waterfall effect where we can together help everyone in Pakistan, for example, right? And that's gonna be through you, and that is your gift, but that is also your responsibility. What do you think about this offer?
This is life changing, and I'm so blessed to have you in my life. Maybe I needed, this was the best time connecting with you, and I cannot thank you enough for the offer. That this is life changing. I think, this, and I feel fully ready. Maybe this
Good.
four months training
Hmm.
was, to make things happen, and that this
Hmm.
is really happening. I mean, this is thanks to Renda Byron for writing The Secret, and thanks to you that we are orbiting in the same orbit. That I take the opportunity, rather I take the responsibility, that
Yeah.
I'll not only learn, but also I also educate, and I'll make sure I at least I make 10 more people like myself in like for first 6 months, and then more.
Yeah.
And so this will be the like an exponential impact is gonna be eventually, because I also have a few enthusiasts with me. So they'll really be happy they'll be crazy hearing that the like person like yours, Matthieu Bonelli, uh, the coach and the mentor of the conscious leadership, and that you are amazing. This offer is awesome, and this will not
Good.
only be transforming life, but also this will create such a synergy that this will
Hmm.
create the ecosystem of exponential growth.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you like this. Let's make it happen, right? Again, this is what we talked about. It doesn't need to be more complicated. You don't have to now suddenly learn 50 topics. Let's master 80% of this one topic on energy. I'm also not asking you to become an expert on energy. I'm not an expert on energy, but we are in early May. By the end of May, you would have understood energy much better. You will still be integrating. By June, you would have shared content about energy. So I guess by the end of June, early July, your audience can also learn and become more knowledgeable and manage their energy better. And we keep on going that way until whatever, there's no need to stop.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And how about in return? Is there anything I can also? Is there anything that I can have through my podcasting, through my networking? Like I've got also people in UAE or around the globe. If you have gone through my media wall on my Global Abundance Organization television, this abundance
What you're
show.
doing, what you're doing is amazing. You're spreading some concepts to the audience. You're already doing what you have to do. I am the one who is like willing to support because you already have this channel where you're sharing. Your cause is noble. This is a good thing. You're doing it with the best intentions. You're really someone who cares so much and loves those topics so much and embracing them. You don't have to do anything else apart from showing up and now continuing creating this content.
This makes me so happy. Honestly, yeah, this makes me gets me tons of energies. I'm glad to have you. That I mean, I'm so happy to be that close to you. Anything other than this, I can surely I'll be into energy. I'll learn as much as I can.
Hmm.
All types kind of energy, many meaning manifestation
Yeah.
of energy, and the energy, the role it has in transforming us from linear to exponential, or like coming
Yeah.
overcoming our limiting belief, and the role of energy in this.
I have been a bit quiet lately on my YouTube channel, but this is going to restart. So I'm doing a few things. I am doing a report on leading through uncertainty, and it's a collaborative report. I'm actually interviewing a lot of leaders on this. So there's going to be in the future a lot of content on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Conscious Leaders by Matthieu Bonelli, but I'm sure you can just give a link whenever you can for your audience. And
Sure,
the other
yes.
part is also going on LinkedIn. On my LinkedIn, I post 3, 4 times a week. I have short posts, I have long posts, I have video posts. So I have also events. So this is where the people can know also if you want to come to the next Align session. This is how you can also get your book your spot and make sure we continue interacting, we continue learning, ask questions. That's how we do. We learn and then we integrate. And once we have integrated, we can share to others so we can impact others.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. Is there any of the chances on your show? Can I be the host on your show, as you are already the expert and the mentor? Host as I mean in this, like I mean, this is my show. Can I be? on
Hmm.
your show asking you questions, very small, I mean, very, the well placed questions, and then you answering it. So, I mean, how's that? I mean, if we can create some podcast on your show and then we can
Yeah.
integrate, then I can also, I mean, I would love to have you as a guest, as an expert on conscious leadership, maybe every week. I mean, I'll be happy to do that because earlier I podcasted with Andrea Mason, the writer of Victim to Victorious and Lemon of Les Brown, and she was an
Hmm.
accountability coach, and we were podcasting every day, but except Saturday, Sunday,
Yep. Yep.
except weekend. It was so amazing, and it is it gets lots of it's all about the algorithm. So if we are more on the algorithm, that there is more followership is there, and people
Hmm.
getting more of the impact, and this can enhance and catalyze
Yep.
the
Yep.
energy, and this can make our efforts exponential. I mean, this is my belief. I mean, this is what I can
Yeah.
also offer.
Absolutely. And sharing each other's contents is also a great way to do that, right? Keep on sharing
Yeah.
things, and I will repost some of your things. It's something like I don't do as a commitment to doing it, but share good content, and I will definitely be keen of sharing it as well, right? And vice versa. This is how it works and how we help each other.
Yeah, I got another. You may call it a favor or but a question also. I
Hmm.
have made this abundance a website, abundance, and there's with word connected with the word voila. Voila is
Hmm.
Urdu word, my language word, which means smith, like goldsmith, like
Okay.
blacksmith, smith. So
Like a
I
craft
am
person, yeah.
yeah, like
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, this is Abundance Smith. I am working
Hmm.
as an
Hmm.
Abundance Smith. So the name of my uh, website is abundancewala.com.
Yep.
So
Yep. I can see it written
it's
here. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
yes. So I want to put the content, your content. I want to connect the backlinks so that somebody coming to my website can go to yours too, just because you're already doing this thing. And I made it for the reason that just because I am not an expert on this, it's just a student and who has just started learning things.
Hmm.
But this is what I want to keep doing till my last breath of my life, just because I feel it so noble. And I think that this will be something that I can pay back to the society. This will be something that I can take people, myself first, and then the people also, from scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset,
Yep.
because I believe the all problems in the world do exist just because of our
Conditioning.
scarcity mind,
Yes.
scarcity
Yeah.
mindset. And we have positioned ourselves as I told you that about whatever thinking. This is just because I'm worried, just because of I think that way and I feel that way. Then the routines and the
Hmm.
patterns are all there. I need to change my feel first, then secondly patterns, and then that's what I mean. As you told me to learn about energy and follow what you said, sure, I'll do. I, I've been learning this for a long time, but for last 13 months, I've been doing it religiously, for, honestly. I
Hmm.
also believe that. And then again, yes, the abundance is my destiny. Abundance is, in fact, everyone's destiny. Until and unless someone is tuned into abundance, will not get rid of the scarcity mindset and will not get rid of the grief, the problems, or the things they are there. I mean, this is, we've got only one planet, that is earth, and that's like a boat we are all sailing in one, and let's not screw it. Someone is like snatching, I am generally, people, their crime is just because they are just because of the scarcity mindset. This is all my what I'm doing is like I'm teaching myself in the entire globe that, look, let's forget about it is no more scarcity there. There's ample food abundance,
Hmm.
there's water abundance, there energy abundance, there renewable energy is there. 60% of the globe has gone renewable, on renewable energy. And maybe as we are going, I mean, in the next decade, probably this will be 90 or maybe more than that, as Peter says, and I believe so. And there's no more scarcity. It is
Hmm.
only the thinking. Like
Correct.
the Russia attacking Ukraine or US attacking smaller countries just because of the scarcity. This is not scarcity of resources, but mindset. So it's not about the big countries, but also human beings too. In one house, two people are fighting just to having more pie, or maybe it's not having about one pie and dividing that, but we can bake more, as Peter says in his abundance summits. And so this is my whole effort, and I want to be I am on the mission. Honestly, I feel as if I
I
am on the
see.
mission. So I need a mentor like you, and you're already there. I'm so grateful to my God. I mean, I'm so grateful to my creator that he has sent you to me, and you allowed me to come that close to you. And thank you so much for your sessions that you are giving me on Zoom. And again, I mean, you are an abundant person. I would request each of those who follow me or who are any a bit, I mean, an inch closer to what I'm doing, or those who think 1% of what I'm doing good, is to please follow Matthieu Bonelli. He never asked me to do that, but I mean, this is my belief, this is my duty. I will keep doing it religiously, because if I don't do this, that's like injustice to what I'm doing. So I'll try to be just with my mission. And Matthew, any message to me and to the globe?
Well,
Rather
thank you.
advice.
First
Thank
of
you.
all, thank you for the opportunity to share, to have this moment, for your openness, for your vulnerability. You know, it's not easy. I mean, what you're doing is like right now you've received and you've shared a lot and you've let yourself, be yourself. And a lot of people will hide and will not want the world to have the ability to know that you were vulnerable, that you talked about some limiting beliefs, that you talked about some of the things that you have shared today. So, congratulations and tap on the shoulder. You are on the path. Just remember that you are, because you hear, you, Zafar, but also the people listening right now. That means you are on the path. And don't worry about anything else. Just learn one next thing. Just try to be consistent about this, one step at a time, and there is an abundant life in front of you at the end of this journey.
Thank you so much, and message to the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Zafar.
Thank you, Matthew. It's absolutely life changing. A dream came true. It was not a podcast. It was not a session, but it's like, lovely. Oh, what's
He
his name?
knows his name is
You.
Hoppy. He knows it's the end of the conversation and it's the time to get him for a walk and to feed him.
Yes, great. Wow, that's another abundance of having pets and having emotion together. This is
Absolutely.
emotional abundance. Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you so
I
much.
cannot take more time from your pet. Thank you so much for being on my
Take care, everyone.
show. Bye bye,
Thank you, brother.
and Allah Hafiz. Thank you.